pants?
Yeah.
Does everybody parachute now?
Hey everybody. So this has been forever in a year. And no, we didn't do Monster Hunter because we didn't want to do Monster Hunter. As much as I love those Resident Evil movies just because they're Resident Evil, I'll admit they're shit. And I am not watching anything else Paul W.S. Anderson puts out because it's garbo. But yeah, we're here to talk about another movie that was actually worth watching, Wonder Woman 84. So Mike, go ahead.
All right. So in this installment, Diana Prince lives quietly among mortals in the vibrant, sleek 1980s, an era of excess driven by the pursuit of having it all. Though she's come into her full powers, she maintains a low profile by curating ancient artifacts and only performing heroic acts incognito. But soon, Diana will have to muster all of her strength, wisdom, and courage as she finds herself squaring off against Maxwell Lord and the Cheetah, a villainess who possesses superhuman strength and agility. Now, because this movie has been out for over a week, this is going to be all spoilers. We're holding nothing back.
Yeah, this is more than normal. Now that you can watch it at home, like me and Mike are normally very much just spoilers, but it's like, this is the first time we've waited a week. So,
Yep.
Yeah. All right, I'm just getting the IMDb loaded up in here. I know mostly everybody, but there we go. There we are. Yeah, so overall, I liked it. There was some points that I'm sure we're going to get to that we need to talk about, but
we're going to get there.
Let's mostly go over the positives. I'm normally not the hugest Chris Pine fan, but I love him in both of these Wonder Woman movies. Like, he knows exactly what he's meant to be, and he's the lone guy that kind of gets to be the well-known male love interest for a superhero in like these movies. Unless I'm really blanking on one, he's the torchbearer pretty much. So, and he seems to be more than fine with being the side gig in all these movies, and I love that. He doesn't like fight to get more time and all that. He's just happy getting to be Steve.
Yeah. He and Patty Jenkins have a great relationship. Ever since Monster, he has been in every single one of Patty Jenkins, between these two movies and the TV show that he starred in, the name of which I can't remember off the top of my head.
So there's a strong bet he's going to be in Rogue Squadron.
I Am the Night.
Got it. Okay.
I Am Night was the series that he starred in.
Got ya.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great to see Chris Pine again, although the how is what we'll get to later.
Yeah, that was a first one in a movie for me. I was like, this is kind of like a big situation, but different.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So what do you think of Kristen Wiig as Barbara Minerva?
I never want her to play a nerd in my life ever again. And I don't mean that she was bad as a nerd in this movie for the little bit that she was. I mean that she was awesome as a person who didn't take anyone's shit and wanted to be taken seriously and could whoop your ass if she wanted to. Mm-hmm. I want her to be that more often, and she needs to, because 99.999% of the roles she takes, she's just some lovable nerd or some socially awkward person, and I love her for that. She's good at it. But I never in my life thought I'd see a point where I was scared of Kristen Wiig. And I was in this movie at points. Mm-hmm.
I'm hard pressed to call this her best performance. I still think she's just really good in the Skeleton Twins.
Yeah.
But this this role gives her more to do. Like with this role, she really gets to show off all of her range, not just the comedic bits or the like. It's not just her inner comedic bits, and it's not just her like just a dramatic performance. It's a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one thing I will say, I like and dislike how she becomes Cheetah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. I do like the like part of it we'll get to. I like that she got the abilities of being Cheetah without asking to be Cheetah.
Yes.
She got it by total luck. That part I thought was awesome. That was the best way ever.
I think the detail that I really liked, and I guess I kind of picked up on it both times I saw the film. When Barbara first meets Diana, did you notice what shoes she's wearing?
Yeah, we're gonna get to the part of what I don't like. That was part of it. Because I was just like, you're approaching mid-2000s movie right now. We're gonna pump the brakes on those heels right now.
Yeah. But the part that I actually like is how she wants to be just like Diana, yeah. But like because of the Dreamstone, she doesn't necessarily know that she's asking for all of Diana's everything.
Yeah, that was cool. That was an interesting way to go about it, where, of course, I'm not thinking about it. I can't think of where the villain becomes a villain without knowing they're a villain through good intentions. I'm trying to think of something else that matches it like this, where they're like, I want to be something, but they don't really truthfully realize what they're asking for. And like, they actually don't know. Most of the time when they act this, they're just like, you're asking for something stupid. This time someone actually wasn't asking for something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was unique. I like
that. Before we get too far ahead, I think we need to talk about the opening sequence on Themyscira, because and both times I saw this movie, it became immediately clear that that this is basically where we learn all of the important lessons, like what's her name? The character Robin Wright plays.
Antiope. I have it open right here. It's Antiope.
Antiope.
Antiope. There we
go. Like when Diana finishes the I'll just call it the Themysciran Games.
Yeah.
But she didn't do so truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically this is an Aesop's fable.
Yep. Pretty much. And that little kid, Lily Aspel, I didn't know what her name was until I saw it right here. She did really good. She was awesome.
Like that whole sequence, I wish I could have seen in a theater. Apparently that's like one of like the two big IMAX sequences.
Oh, I can imagine. I got to see it in the theater. They had rows taped off and stuff like that. My theater owner is still working through the ways of how he wants to get people in here, because I live in a northwestern, very liberal town, so things are different around this time. And I have a pretty good relationship with the guy that runs the theater. He's amazing. So yeah, getting to see that on a big screen was great. I was like, I want more flashbacks to the crap they used to do on Themyscira, because that was cool. And the camera work was awesome.
I hope we do end up getting that that Themyscira spinoff that Patty Jenkins was interested in in developing.
Be awesome.
It would also be great if that was like an HBO Max limited series.
They did good with Watchmen. They could do a lot with that.
Oh yeah.
What else I want to say? I completely, and I mean utterly and completely forgot that Pedro Pascal was playing Maxwell Lord in this movie. Until it opened up, because I saw like the trailer once and then I forgot the movie was coming out, because all this year I haven't been watching trailers because I haven't been watching TV, so I almost never see movie trailers anymore. And then all of a sudden it pops up and I'm like, wow, that guy looks familiar. Because I'm trying not to say this racially. They tried to make Pedro Pascal look like the most white Mexican I've ever seen in my entire life in this movie. So I was like, what is he? Oh, that's Pedro Pascal.
To be fair, he is white passing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
What's cool is that they actually make the character like he actually is Latin American, which is
they say his what was his full last name? They say it at one point. Because Simon Stagg says it at one point. It's like Lauren Netza, Lauren not like
Lorenzino or something.
I can't remember, but yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was awesome. Also, Simon Stagg is in this movie. I'm like, what are you doing? How is Simon Stagg in this movie?
Of all like the name drops, this is arguably like the most random.
Yeah, like the last time Simon Stagg's name got brought up in anything DC that I can remember was in the Arkham games. I was like, what are you doing? It's like, whatever, but it's like one thing, and we'll get to it when we get to the end of the movie. In an article I just read, I don't think Patty Jenkins likes conventional superhero movies.
No.
Not in a bad, and it's not in a bad way. We'll get to it, especially when this movie ends.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Patty's taste in superhero films, she's a very she is very Donner influenced, and we'll get to one of my favorite scenes in a moment.
Yep. What else?
Generally speaking, what did you think of the way that Diana fights crime? Like, remember, this takes place before Batman v Superman, so she hasn't really come out to the world yet.
I get that, but man, we're gonna get into this. I've never had this committed to camera, but it's gonna be committed to camera now. I don't care what time period it's in. I do not care when it's in, who's looking at it, what manner of brain you have. You still know it's me, right? This bullshit Superman puts on glasses and they don't know it's him needs to stop, because right now, if it was acceptable in the 1980s for Superman to go out with glasses on and, oh, I'm just innocent, even though if you put two pictures next to each other, you realize it's me. But Diana can't put on a fucking crown and throw a person 5 blocks and they don't think it's Diana Prince? No, I'm not buying it. She should not have to hide her identity. This is the most Hippocratic horse shit I've ever seen in a movie ever. I was like, if it's okay for Superman to do it and no one bitches, but she has to hide her identity? She's a well-known, like, researcher that works with people from the FBI.
And they can't
figure it out. I was like, are you kidding me? It pisses me off so much. It needs to stop. This whole, if they wear an article of clothing that covers up 5% of their face, it needs to, no, oh, it pisses me off.
But this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say Patty Jenkins is very Donner inspired. Like warts and all, this movie is pretty much a gender flipped Superman the movie.
It is. It is. I was like, when you said coming out the world, I'm like, oh. But yeah, that we'll get into parts that I don't like later. But I like that she kind of tries to just get the job done and leave. She doesn't want what I want to say, major credit for anything. She just kind of does her job and leaves.
Yeah,
that I appreciate.
It's kind of like she knows her strength. She knows she knows what she's worth, but she doesn't necessarily want she doesn't want so much the attention. She just wants to, keep her head down and just contribute in ways that she can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something I like about Diana in these movies is how human she comes across. A lot of the time, in bad superhero stories, they don't really they forget that these superheroes are people first.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're people first, superheroes second. Yep. And DC in particular does this better than almost anyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it also, someone's gonna scream at me in comments, even not just the Marvel movies, DC has a lot higher standard on trying to make everyone that they come up with be two different people.
Yep.
They're like Tony Stark becomes Iron Man, he's Tony Stark wearing a suit. When Superman is Clark Kent, he's Clark Kent. When he's Superman, he's Superman. When Batman's Bruce Wayne, he's Batman. When he's Bruce Wayne, he's Bruce Wayne. They make it an actual 50-50 split. So,
and the best actors who play those characters, they actually do they do the work to actually give two separate performances.
Yep. Oh, I agree. Oh, and that's the best way to do it. It's not like in one of my favorite clips people ever show. It's from the Adam West Batman series, and Bruce Wayne is talking to Commissioner Gordon. He hangs up the phone. He's like, "All right, I need to speak with Batman." And he hangs up the phone. 2 seconds later, he picks up the phone, same tone, voice, and everything, and they just keep talking. And nothing changed. Just are you serious? And they call from the same phone. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, one thing I like about how she fights crime in this movie, she actually uses her tiara.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She uses her tiara, and she has basically mastered the art of the lasso, the same way that by the time of the Winter Soldier, Steve Rogers mastered the shield.
Oh yeah, to a ridiculous extent.
And I'll say this now, so people in the comments can yell at me later. Diana uses her lasso a lot better than Spider-Man in recent movies has used his web shooter.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. That's either directing or how they want to do that. Give or take, he is still young, and we'll wait for whatever if that so-called about 3 different trilogies happens. But it's yeah, she's done a lot of really good stuff with that lasso. We'll get to one of them later, which it's making me think that she's the new 52 Wonder Woman a lot more.
Oh, I know where you're getting at.
Yeah, but no, it's really cool. She's been the little bit of fighting that we got in this movie, which is we'll get to my point later about how Patty Jenkins handles these movies. get to later. But yeah, there was a strong beginning to this, and I was very happy about that. But it waned a little later. We'll get to that. Pedro Pascal was at points the weirdest villain I think I've seen in recent memory in one of these superhero movies. In a good way.
Yeah. The one thing I can't say about his version of Maxwell Lord is that he's not one-dimensional.
No.
In fact, I think he's probably the most dynamic in terms of personality, because yes, at times, like, he has his villainous moments. Like once he absorbs the power of the Dreamstone. By the way, it's called the Dreamstone, which is obviously a reference to Sandman, and yet the Sandman is getting a Netflix series, so no real connection there. But
I do not understand why they call it that. I was just like, why don't you call it the Wishing Stone? Like, I understand it's a little on the nose, but you weren't exactly subtle with a couple other things in this movie.
That's true.
Yeah, it's weird. I also didn't see it coming that he literally like became the Thing. Didn't think that's how they were going to handle it, but I'm like, all right, I guess that makes sense.
I'm pretty sure they only did that to give him power and to actually make him like a sizable threat.
So they don't have a MacGuffin the entire movie? Well, I guess they did, but technically the MacGuffin was Lord then, who is the actual villain.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they did something good that I like in these movies. Good at first, and then we'll get to it later, where they established like little random side characters and stuff. Like, people don't like Venom. I love Venom. The random homeless person that Eddie
Leon
always talks to, or yeah, they have the same thing basically with that, like what he has with her. Like, she just talks with Leon when he's coming back in the day. It's like, hey, how's it going? She gives him some food, stuff like that. Then you have him be a reoccurring character for the entire movie. I'm like, that's really cool. And then we're not going to talk about that now because we'll get to what I don't like about it later. But they had little itty bitty couple of side characters that were like fully in the movie, like Stag and checks notes.
Carl?
Nope. What was his name? Alistair.
Oh, yeah. So that's another interesting point. As far as I know, in the comics, Maxwell Lord doesn't have a son. So yeah. Alistair is an original character to this film.
Yeah.
And he's part of what makes Maxwell Lord a dynamic villain. Mm-hmm. Because everything that he does for his son.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Hard. Yeah, and which, by the way, there's a moment between them at the end that gave me serious Man of Steel vibes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Man, excuse me. But yeah, that was good. I wasn't feeling so much a relationship between them until the very end when they started doing the flashbacks and stuff like that. Like, I thought they could have had maybe a couple more scenes with him in the interim, but we'll get to that. Pretty much how they casted this whole film, I thought was really good. I could tell I was in a theater of people that only wanted to see a movie because they wanted to see a movie, because I audibly screamed out "fuck yes" when The Invisible Jet came out.
Oh my god, yes. This is genuinely my favorite scene in the whole film, because I had no idea how they were going to pull this off.
Well, I was like, okay, they're never fucking doing the invisible jet. I was just like, they're gonna make that a one-off joke in her movie as at one point. And then randomly they're talking about how we need to get away from them. I'm like, okay, Steve's just gonna fly really fast. And then it's best as I can describe. Diana starts doing Themysciran voodoo in her hands, and I'm like, no, they fucking aren't. No, they fucking aren't. No. And then that thing turned invisible, and I fucking lost it in the theater.
Did you see on Twitter? Mike Kalinowski posted his reaction of the scene. Like basically, he's just watching it, and tears are just rolling down his face.
That's awesome.
And then Patty Jenkins retweeted that, and that's just beautiful.
That's awesome. They got another, which I don't know when you want to talk about that, the quote unquote end credit scene.
We'll get there towards the end.
They had a lot of shit they shoved in this movie. Just I never thought was going to be in it, and and we need to come up with something, which they got away with something that I was about to be very upset with because they almost did something that, what I want to say, they almost did something that I'm hoping they weren't going to do because it helps differentiate Wonder Woman from Superman. And then they almost did it in this movie, but they didn't do it. They Toy Storied it.
Oh.
So I was happy. But that'll get to the cool thing with her lasso that I was talking about. She rides lightning in this movie, literally grabs lightning with her freaking whip. And I'm like, are we going to see Zeus in one of these movies?
Yeah, we technically haven't seen him yet, have we?
No. There's been some big old hints. And as I mentioned, New 52 earlier, we haven't heard a whole lot of stories about people being made out of clay. So, Zeus liked to get busy. And, just saying. I might want Liam Neeson to be Zeus.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just saying he's a pretty good candidate.
I mean, even though Clash of the Titans is not a Warner Brothers property, DC does like to play around with legacy casting.
They do, and I'm pretty sure also, correct me if I'm wrong, they kind of dance around directly saying that she's Zeus's daughter in the first movie in the start of it. Don't they kind of?
Yes, as far as I know, that's basically her origin in this.
Yeah, which makes the most sense. If they're going to try and basically, we're going to have a multiverse where anyone can do whatever the hell they want, why not throw them all in there? Because we got the, can't even remember what her name was. Got the God of Lies in this movie.
Oh yeah, that is an actual character. It's a classic Wonder Woman villain named the Duke of Deception.
Okay, I'm not huge up on Wonder Woman from comics, so anyone, if I make mistakes, bear with me. That was the first time that I ever knew anything about that. So, okay, like, I know the classic ones, like, no, wow, she just blanked out of my head. She's in the Justice League Unlimited one where Diana gets turned into a pig.
Circe?
Circe, thank you. My lord, I was about to say Hela. I'm like, that is not correct. But yeah, oh boy. But yeah, I know the base info with her, and yeah. I like Giganta and a couple other ones, but yeah. Anyways, man, we're kind of bebopping all over the place with plot here, but I like that. Again, it starts with, I don't want to say pure intentions, but Maxwell Lord basically gets the wishing stone just because he wants to make himself less of a failure. He doesn't immediately like, I want to take over the world. He just wants to have oil. So, and then he turns into a douchebag because it's Maxwell Lord and he's a douchebag.
Mhm.
His last name's Lord, for Christ's sake. Yeah, I just, we're going to go basically off positives because I have a good feeling that, like, for reasons of constructive criticism, we're going to have a decent amount of negatives.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but generally speaking, this is one of those movies where we can talk about the negatives, and we will.
Yes.
But the overall experience is one that I genuinely loved.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was very good. I will say I like the first one better, but I did enjoy the movie. And then now I'm kind of I am excited going forward, knowing that she's probably, if the rumors are true about them fast tracking a third one, because I want a Wonder Woman movie set in the 90s just so I will get every reference and anything, because it'll also be the first Wonder Woman movie that we won't see Steve Trevor in.
Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
Although I personally hope the next Wonder Woman movie is set in the present.
In the present?
Only because I think we need to start seeing how Diana interacts with the modern day world.
Okay.
Plus something that Cheetah did not do is renounce her wish, and so she can come back.
Well, there's the thing. Do we? That's the part where I wanted to ask you. I'm like, technically, we didn't hear everyone renounce their wish. We just heard Diana tell her, "I want you to renounce it," and then did we see her before Lord renounced his wish?
I think we might have.
That's what I was wondering, because I'm like, if she renounced it before Lord did, I don't know what that all does, because we do technically see her as a human before the movie ends.
True.
That's one of the negatives I'm going to get to, because that needs to change somehow, because Kirsten Wiig was great.
When we get to predictions for 3, I have some ideas of how they can fix
Okay.
the character.
Okay. All right. But yeah, one thing I do like to a degree is this was another movie that I'm going to refer to as Doctor Strange, the end of it, where it just wasn't two things beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Doctor Strange was the very first big one where it went, I'm going to solve this problem a little differently. We're just going to stand here. We're going to talk this out. We're going to figure this out. And that was what happened here. So I thought that was kind of cool. A lot of people didn't like that. But I think that's a product of not seeing a superhero movie in over a year. And
with the caveat that I have not gone back to revisit the first Wonder Woman, one of the reasons I might put this one above it is because I think this movie sticks the landing better. And the confrontation with Maxwell Lord at the end is one of the reasons.
okay.
So, like, yes, Diana Prince is a warrior, but she's also a diplomat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see her. It's good to see the movie showcase that side of her when confronting a villain. But the comic fan in me is also a little surprised that they didn't show Diana snapping his neck.
Me too. But I'm going to be honest, and what I was saying earlier about Patty Jenkins, I just read in an interview recently, and I can't remember who she was doing it with. I think it was uploaded like yesterday, that if it's up to her, she's never going to have that in a movie ever. Because I was reading in an interview that they only had the big CGI fight at the end of the first one because it was studio mandated.
Of course it was.
And up to her, she was going to do the classic Ares line where he just meets up with Diana and goes, I didn't do a damn thing. You guys did it to yourself. I just said a couple of words and that was that. And then they solve it some other way. She wouldn't have had a big fight. She wouldn't have had nothing. It would have ended very similarly to this movie. So I think Patty Jenkins is not a big fan of the giant we're going to beat the shit out of each other endings in her superhero movies, period, because she didn't get in the first one, and I think she might have fought pretty fucking hard to not do it in this one.
You know what? I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll see who the villain is for the third one to see if that's going to be, because if like they randomly go, oh, let's see, she's going to fight Giganta. Yeah, we're going to see her talk down Giganta. No, she's going to beat the shit out of her.
That for that one, you need a battle.
Yeah, exactly. Or Circe. Like that would be one where they're going to fight, where they're going to do both.
Probably.
Yeah, but
now speaking of Wonder Woman villains, are you okay with Cheetah in this movie basically playing the Aaron Eckhart Two-Face role?
I didn't know which script you're going to throw out because, my God, I've seen the internet come up with every one of them. I've seen Max from Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I've seen Uma Thurman's Catwoman. I'm fine with her being that person to a degree. And if we're going to talk about negatives, that is one of my negatives.
Okay.
They, at the end, did not know how to make her look like a villain.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Because
I'll contend that like the actual Cheetah makeup looked like pretty good, or as good as a live action Cheetah.
I like anything but her face. They tried to make her face look too much still like a human, and it looked weird.
Yeah, that's the one thing that they still need to figure out, but everything else looks terrific.
Yeah, the main scene I'm talking about is at the beginning of this movie, Diana saves her from a sex pest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. She's going to become friends with her, figure her out, kind of, maybe Cheetah could be like an anti-hero in movies going forward, stuff like that. That'd actually be kind of cool. Then later, I am supposed to sympathize with the same obvious piece of shit drunkard wannabe rapist when he's getting the shit beat out of him by Cheetah. No. No.
I'm glad you brought that up, because this scene, this is like one of the only scenes in a movie I otherwise love that is genuinely broken, because on the one hand, like, this is supposed to be Barbara's heel turn, but the problem is, well, the problem is twofold. A, in a post Me Too landscape, like in a completely unrelated movie, this would have been a triumphant moment for that character. But like the music and the way it's staged is like it's like completely dissonant to like the audience's natural reaction.
Yeah, I was like, the worst part is like when that starts up, I was like, good, beat his ass. And then I'm hearing the music stingers. I'm like, are you for real trying to make her look like an asshole right now? Like, this is one of the few things in this movie she should be encouraged to do. Like, we should feel bad when she's fighting Diana, not this guy. And like when she's fighting Diana, they have her bring up everything. And she's almost never wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. So I'm kind of like, you kind of had the ball up on the tee and you had fully roided out Mark McGuire ready to freaking bat that thing to the next county and just like.
I have a couple of thoughts on how to make her heel turn a little cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
I understand at the very least what Patty was trying to do with that scene by demonstrating her her like waning humanity.
Yep.
But I would have waited to reveal her villainous side until they go to the Mayans house.
Yeah.
And like that's when she kind of like pleads her case of no, I'm not giving up my wish. I like who I am now. I don't want to give that up.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then we start to see her power like that. Then she can show off her power like beating up someone innocent.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, would you have been okay with like where she got like a shot in on that guy and then she like without thinking the homeless dude, like Leon?
Yeah.
Like she like cripples Leon. Like, you want to make me feel bad for someone and think she's an asshole. Out of those two, it was Leon.
Yeah. Like I still don't think like she would go out of her way to harm Leon, but like Leon would have to be like collateral damage, and then instead of coming to his rescue, he'd be like
what the hell?
Something like you're too weak for this world, or something.
Yeah, she'd just be like, help me. It's like, why should I help you? You didn't help me. I've been helping you my entire life. And like talking about giving them the food and all that. He's like, all I've ever done is help you. No one helps me. And yeah, that could have been that. And before we get off the cheetah subject, we're going to basically bang out the two other considerations that I have. A, my God, that cheetah fight should have been longer.
Yes.
Because that could have been great. And two, I wanted to physically puke when the fucking cheetah, when the cheetah stilettos came out. I'm like, I swear to God, if she wishes to be like a cheetah, because she was like Diana wore cheetah things once, and I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like, oh boy, words are gonna be said, but they didn't quite do that.
I get it. I like if this were like a mid 2000s superhero film, that would have been like hands in the air. What the hell?
Yeah, that's what I said at points with Dave, the guy who runs the theater here in Medford. I'm like, there's points in this movie where I felt like I was back watching the mid 2000s run of movies sometimes, because I was kind of like, don't do that. But then they didn't. There's just little sprinkled moments where I was kind of like, this one was different.
Something else that I've like something else I noticed about pre Dreamstone Barbara. Mm-hmm. When her and Diana were eating lunch or early dinner, Did you think at one point that they were going to be lovers?
Kinda. It was a little weird. I was like, are you about to have a weird off lesbian relationship and then you meet Steve and then you're like, I'm straight still? I'm like, you guys are getting really cozy. This is weird. Or I thought that maybe like I had the fear in me that she was only going to hate Diana because she denied her a sexual relationship. I was kind of like, oh God, please no. Oh God.
Yeah, it's a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't with that. But I only bring that up because I can't remember who exactly confirmed it, but Diana has been confirmed to be bisexual.
Oh.
Which,
Yeah, I heard about that too, but no one can ever bring me up an article that actually shows it. I've heard that from so many people, but I'm just like, okay, why can't any of you ever bring up an article?
but the reason that makes sense is because, you know, think about where she was born.
Yeah, it makes sense that like she literally didn't know what a penis was until she met Steve. So, well, no, they went through that whole entire thing on the boat. She knew what one was, but she never knew like the purposes and all of this. Like she basically, yeah, if she wanted to have sex, she was having sex with a woman, and then as soon as she met a man, she was like, but yeah, it made sense. Yeah, I get that. It's just that like one thing I don't like, and this is in any movie period, where something that is somehow important to a movie after it comes out has to be confirmed by someone in the production of the movie because it was never stated in the movie.
Yeah, that
I
can be
hate that.
that can get really annoying.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think the worst example of this is J.K. Rowling's declaring that Dumbledore is gay.
Yeah, what's the point of it? What does that do?
Yeah, like if it's not in the text, if it's not in the text and the creator or the writer doesn't bring it up, no one would ever know.
No, and no one ever knows, or just like, and then all of a sudden someone brings up that we're like, yeah, I think you would have been great with this person. Like, you didn't know he was gay the entire time. I'm like, no, Dumbledore was an ancient fossil that taught at a school. Why does that matter? If anything, that might make scenes weird if I knew that. It's like, but yeah.
Speaking of weird, I think it's time to address the elephant in the room.
Before we get there, that's going to be a big elephant to talk about. The other elephant that we need to talk about is the fact that this movie, under no set of circumstances, needed to be crouching on 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah. Although it's not the longest in the DCEU,
it's not.
But it's still pretty long.
It's a movie where I felt the length because there's a lot of her just randomly doing things. But the other, and again, before we get to it, they had Wonder Woman fall with style in this movie. I thought they were going to have her fly, and I was going to be like, huh, she couldn't fly in BVS and Justice League. Why? But they just had her glide. But that was whatever, because they said they weren't going to have her fly, and according to Zack Snyder. But anyway, yes, the big elephant in the room, go ahead, that no one thought was a problem when they made this movie, possibly at all.
Again, this one's kind of twofold. So, first of all, Diana wishes, which she never actually says out loud, she wishes for Steve to be brought back. Mm-hmm. So when things like when things like cows on a farm or nuclear missiles can appear in thin air, why the fuck does Steve have to inhabit some stranger's body?
There is legitimately no reason, because even at the end of the movie, the plot wouldn't change if Steve was not in that guy's body.
And that's the other thing. Who even the fuck is this guy? I'm pretty sure his credit on IMDb is just handsome guy.
Handsome guy, yeah. And like, it doesn't add anything. It was not like, I could get out of this guy's body if we did something and we waited, whatever. No, she needed to renounce her wish despite the fact that they brought back Steve in the flesh or not. It didn't add anything other than a couple of scenes where they wake up in his apartment. And then you have the plot device of her not recognizing Steve right away, which was really weird at first, but I was like, you could have just had him appearing like a phantom ghost that she thought she was seeing Steve everywhere.
Yeah. Like things like this really complicate the narrative in ways it didn't need to.
No. And it's like, is that guy present? Did that guy just vanish into thin air? What are his loved ones doing right now? Like, why is only Diana's wish the only screwed up one? Like, everyone gets what they want, actually gets what they want, but the side effect is bad. And the problem is, her side effect wasn't having Steve showing up in someone else's body. It was losing her powers. So she just got the worst wish of them all. Is it because she didn't say it out loud? Is that the rules? They never said that. And also, why can she not say it out loud? Because everyone had to go out of their way to say it out loud to Steve Lord in the exact frame of reference to say, I say this wish.
Okay, to that point, that could have just been Maxwell being a dick and saying, like,
I guess.
you need to actually say it.
Okay, that could be. I just thought it was you had to say I wish for magical stones are preemptive dicks reasons, but I guess I don't know.
But I also agree that like it's weird that Diana is the only one who doesn't say it out loud. So I guess the universe is punishing her by corrupting the wish.
I don't know. And it's like, they could have added something in the movie where it was like, the Duke of Deception was like, if you try to get around something or you don't whatever, or it was like, I didn't mean my wish, but the Duke did it anyway to be an asshole and spite me. They could have done 10 minutes of dialogue and they just, this is going to sound weird. In the middle of a Me Too movement, bear with me here, in a movie written and directed by a woman, there's the plot device for where a guy has pretty much unconsensual sex with another woman with a guy in his body.
And they only like just barely mention it towards the beginning.
Yeah. And then it's like, it doesn't even, like, Steve doesn't even use that as I don't think he brings it up, but like at the end of the movie, it's just like, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't belong here. It was fun. It's cool. It's not Steve saying the guy whose body I'm riding needs to live his life. How is that guy never important anymore?
Until the very end.
Yeah. When, oh, wait, he's cute. I might sleep with him even though he's not Steve. It's just, they could have solved every, like, I get it. People still don't like this movie because they didn't get a big dumb CGI fight at the end. But like, that was the one thing I hear everyone bitching about. And it's a non-plot damaging thing if you just went and took it out. The movie doesn't change.
I'm wondering though, because this movie's been delayed like at least 3 or 4 times. Do you remember when this was originally supposed to come out in like November 2019?
I remember that, and I'm not wondering about like to me, I have to wonder because Patty Jenkins openly said that after the second delay, they ended up getting the movie done like 4 to 5 months, like Chris Golden approved by the theater, like 4 to 5 months before it released. Like it was just sitting in a can done, but they wanted to wait because they got a good release date after the whatever release.
Right.
And then COVID happens and they do whatever. If COVID like delays made them somehow go back and edit that movie,
the only reason I ask is because it feels like they're like story beats that were either added in or taken out, and I think one of them might have been the guy, because like not to objectify handsome guy, but
I have to see if that guy got it. No, you are incorrect. On IMDb, it is handsome man.
Oh, sorry, handsome man.
Handsome man. Go ahead.
Anyway, handsome man looks he looks too much like a character to just be a nobody.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that could have been Hal Jordan, or I don't know.
Now here's the thing I have to ask you. If randomly Diana did this, they sleep together, he's being possessed by Steve Trevor, who is a pilot. All of a sudden, she gets back out of it. She meets this dude again, and they ask him, "Hey, I'm also a pilot. My name's Hal Jordan."
I see. That's the thing. I'm not sure if that would have been better. Now that we're saying it out loud, but
like if they would have had plane stuff in the dude's apartment already, and then Steve's just like, "Yeah, this guy's in the planes too." Like some other Duke of Deception landed Steve Trevor into the other most well-known pilot on the planet. Oh my god. If that would have been a 2000s movie, that would have happened.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I honestly can't think of a way to have this in the movie and make it not be weird.
Yeah. But here's the other thing that we kind of need to talk about. Like I get it that Steve Trevor just in general is an important supporting character in Wonder Woman's mythos, but is it just me, or are these two movies a little bit too dependent on Steve? Like
he does get a lot of screen time for just being a love interest,
right? Now most people are saying that like the reason for that is because Gal Gadot is still not quite seasoned enough to carry a movie on her own. So having Chris Pine by her side kind of like takes the pressure off.
I think Gal's got enough in her, and I think Patty Jenkins has enough faith in her to where if they wanted to do it, I could see maybe Warner Brothers going, Steve needs to have some parts in it. And then Patty Jenkins like, all right, if I'm going to have anyone, it's going to be Chris Pine. Because like you said, they have a good working relationship.
Yeah.
I was very okay with the first one being incredibly dependent on Steve because of the time it was set in and like what Steve was. That made a lot of sense. The second one, Steve did do a lot, but Steve was kind of, or quote unquote, better terms, the pilot to get them certain situations like the invisible jet and other things. And honestly, if they were going to do the wishing stone thing, what else were they going to do?
Fair enough.
Like, I mean, they could have her wish to not be Wonder Woman anymore, but that's basically the whole entire plot of Spider-Man 2, and I don't know if that would have worked. But yeah, I get where it would be nice to have just Gal be herself and just wreck some house, which is what the third one's going to be most likely, because my God, if they bring back Steve again somehow, that's just not, you can have a flashback scene. You could have him where like Michael Rooker's got to be in every James Gunn movie. I get it. He's just got to be there, even if it's for 2 minutes. Like he's going to be in Guardians somewhere. I just know he is. They do like, he's not needed again.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, they could have came up with a different plot, and then just not had Steve in it without doing the Wishing Stone or the Dreaming Stone. And just done anything else. Like I said, they could if they want to have her become the God of War like they did for a while in the comics. Like that would be something different.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
If that's the plot of the third movie.
that would be awesome. Yeah, I don't know what they would do. I have a feeling that would be the start of a trilogy of movies where she was just like that. But yeah, I get what you're saying, where he was a lot in it, and they did center around him. And I honestly, at this point, think if anyone's making it mandated, it's Warner Brothers, because I think Gal is I don't know if she could do some Shakespearean whatever auteur Oscar worthy film on her own, but I think she can handle Wonder Woman. To me.
Although give her time and we will see her nominated for Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, she's making leaps and bounds faster than most people that try and get into acting that are just randos. She's
what she has that even better actors don't is screen presence. Like that must have been the thing that Zack Snyder saw in her.
Mm-hmm. And it does. She also is incredibly genetically lucky, not just because she's attractive. She could be fit into a lot of roles that movies need, where it's the kind of mysterious character because she's got the voice and like you said, the screen presence. She can be the just not random another white guy in the corner of the film. Just like she can fill roles that need to be filled. Mm-hmm. Like she's an X factor of a character, of like an actor that has attributes that you need more in movies. And yeah, when Gal Gadot's in a frame, you're paying attention to Gal Gadot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. And yeah, I don't want to talk about that thing with Steve anymore. It's just awkward the more I talk about it. Let's get away from it.
Let's there are two more things that I want to talk about. Well, actually three. Okay. How'd you like Hans Zimmer's score this time?
That was good. I had no complaints. Like all the music that played, like I can't name an exact note for you because I'm not like, unless it's in like a very like Lion King or something where they're actually like singing and doing whatever, I don't exactly pull them back. But it's like the score when they were on the Themyscira was really, I just realized something. The Wonder Woman theme was never in this movie.
Not the original, but they
did the gosh dang it, not the original, but like they never had a moment where like Hans Zimmer's BVS theme was just like blaring when she was fighting someone.
Yeah, I think I might have heard like the electric cello once during the fight with Cheetah, but otherwise it was like it was a brand new rendition for this film. Okay.
No, I'm very rarely. I am one of those people that Hans Zimmer does like do the whenever he likes to, but like I've never complained about Hans Zimmer.
But speaking of BBS, like one of my favorite callbacks, when Diana and Maxwell Lord are like have their final showdown, and you know she's like giving her the truth is like the only thing that's important. Mm-hmm. In the background, they're playing A Beautiful Lie.
Oh yeah, they are. Oh wow, yeah, I didn't realize
the juxtaposition of that is
nice.
Just kind of perfect.
That is true. That was very good.
Okay, the other things I wanted to bring up were the armor.
Yeah, that is something I had to ask you about. Okay. At the beginning of the movie, correct me if I'm wrong, the armor's on Themyscira.
Yep.
Midway through that movie, Diana says she found it after she left Themyscira.
Yeah, that's... I was kind of wondering that too.
Because she didn't take it when she left with Steve.
Nope. Uh, but keep well. No, you're right.
How would it have left? None of them leave. How'd it get there? The chick that only wore it died. That's why it was there. Well, I'm sorry. Died. We'll get there. But
yeah, because remember, in that flashback scene, Diana's a girl, like a little girl, and we know the Amazons age slowly.
Yeah, they age.
So that that flashback could have taken place like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time for the armor to get from Themyscira to wherever Diana found it.
Yeah, I just want, that's one of those things where it's kind of just like someone's gonna later be like, in the novelization of the film, there was a random scene of this Hippodea where they had this battle and they left and Diana found it there. I'm like, Diana could have taken 2 minutes when Steve literally asks what the armor is to go, yeah, I found it at blank. Not just I found it. But I liked the idea of an ancient Amazonian armor was cool. I wish you would have wore it for a little bit longer than 4 minutes when fighting Cheetah.
Yeah. Also, something I haven't brought up yet. Have you ever been to the Smithsonian Museum?
I have not.
Okay,
I have not.
I've been there a couple times because I have family who lives around the DC area.
Nice.
So, like, I don't know if they shot on location, but just seeing like the aircraft exhibit and like all the space stuff was just it was just so cool.
That was cool. That brings up something I have to ask, but go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to gush about seeing that on screen, and if that wasn't on location, they did a really good job of like recreating the Smithsonian.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't doubt that they had permission to just walk on, do a couple of pickup shots, and then walk away. The question I have to ask, and I forgot to write it in my notes, was what was your opinion of museum curator walking through in broad daylight, scanning a badge up at a security camera, walking through with random nobody, and then stealing a jet, and then no one ever comes to contact her?
Boy, they sure have the worst security ever.
I'm like, they're not just going to take that jet. They're not just going to take that jet. Like, that was the one where I'm like, that was a mid-2000s superhero movie I just watched. It was a Fantastic Four Fox moment. I was like,
yeah, sure. Just walk in and take our stuff. It's no big deal.
No one cares. Just slap on that belt. Let's go fly some planes, Hal. Don't worry. But no, that that was really cool. That like they're very big on these Wonder Woman movies are very big about romanticizing history, which is one thing I appreciate about this, because like they do it like that's something they never really got into with Captain America's movies. Like, he's a guy that's from that time, but like other than visiting a war memorial a couple of times, they like never actually talk about the periods that he was in, because he was just in the present right away.
Right.
That's why I thought it's kind of cool that like they had the World War I, and then they had the 84, and then like they actually had like, okay, we're in the time period. This movie's gonna feel like it's in that time period. So that I thought was cool.
Something I like about Diana being alive for all this time is that it would make sense. It would make sense that she takes a liking to history.
Yes.
Because even on Themyscira, she's like she seemed very inquisitive.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's gonna like hang around man's world for so long, she might as well educate herself.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, in that conversation in the boat she has with Steve, she talks about she read every single book about the world of man and all this other stuff, and like if I was her, like basically you do whatever you want, you don't need to eat, you age like a year is like a day, and like I would just find something cool, get through it, and then just learn shit. Because what else do you need to do?
Exactly. So she probably took up that job at the Smithsonian because she was bored.
Exactly. Like I could master a job, I could do whatever, or I could do what I wanted to as a kid, learn and be useful. She's one of the most, what I want to say, not wholesome, forthright superheroes that we have going right now. She like doing it because that's what she should be doing.
Yeah, even in the first movie, she like her superhero journey was less of a coming of age story and more of a I'm the drop in the bucket that's going to influence everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Like she didn't have. It's one of the few movies where one of her relatives didn't get decapitated in front of her. No one had a drug trade, and some of her family got kidnapped. She was just like, "I can help people. Can I go, please?" Like, like it was one of those genuine ones where you didn't have your Uncle Ben. Like someone just went, and they don't do that enough. That was like, no one knows this, and I don't think I've ever told you this, but like, do you remember Matthew Jasso?
Yeah.
Yeah. Both me and him at a point were like separately were writing comic books. Like, and I was working on it with a friend, and we were trying so damn hard. It is nigh impossible to write a good superhero beginning that does not involve a relative being killed. It is so hard. Because you need to come up with a better motive for someone to want to do this. And it's not easy. I think I need to talk with you about that sometime. You and Keon, I think you get a kick out of that because I still have all the docs saved with all the characters and shit. It's never
nice.
There, but yeah, it's written down. I think I haven't touched it like 5 years. But yeah, no, I do like that. Like you said, Patty Jenkins is very, very particular. She doesn't want to make another blank, and I feel that she didn't do that with this. Like I told you before, everyone's comparing her to Electro from Amazing Spider-Man, to Selena Kyle. That one's a little bit closer. Killian. No, Killian?
Yeah.
3. Killian. And then you mentioned him. Harvey Dent.
Two-Face.
And it's like she's just doing a thing in a movie and she tried her best. And it's one thing I hate about people nowadays is like, if their character is 1% like another character, they are that character and you're lazy.
Yeah, comparisons like that are frustrating.
Yeah, like I wanted to punch a hole in my screen when someone put up freaking Max from Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm like, no, he wasn't. Spider-Man forgot his birthday and he wanted to murder people. Oh, you need to shut up. Stop it. Stop it.
That movie's a mess.
Yeah. Because God knows Cheetah got her gap fixed from being electrocuted. Oh, I wanted to leave the theater when they did that. But no, you had a third thing you wanted to talk about.
The mid-credit scene.
I had no idea that was coming. And I honestly thought, because you know how this entire thing was focused on Diana being secretive?
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was her finally just going out in the open and saving people.
But then she turns around and
it's freaking Linda Carter. And then they're like, "Are you new around here?" I can't remember exactly what she says, but he's like, "Does she have a job or something or whatever?" He's like, No, dear. I've been doing this for quite a long time." And she got her own credits for that scene for 2 seconds. And then it was like, that's a new one. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
It's cool to see Linda Carter sort of ascending to that role. My one disappointment though is if that's the only time we're ever going to see her in this universe, it's a missed opportunity to not have her like actually interacting with Gal.
Yep, I would agree, and I would hope that they did the whole. By the way, also, you saw it twice. I've seen it once. Can you tell that it's her in that scene when she's getting swarmed?
Just barely.
Okay. I would think that if they're going to set up anything, they didn't set up a Justice League movie. They didn't set up her showing up in somebody else's thing. They're treating this like how I want some of these movies to be treated, like a trilogy, and it doesn't need to be in everything else. If the third movie is randomly Diana runs into her and then they have to fight something, that would be cool. I agree with you completely that if that's it, that is a giant waste, because I thought somehow that she was going to be. I honestly thought when they started making these movies that she was going to be Hippolyta.
That might have been a little bit too on the nose.
Come on, would you have be cared?
I mean, honestly, no, but
like, imagine if Adam West was a janitor in BVS. Like, everyone would have been so pissed. Like, that's it, really? But it's like anything outside of Circe, who is a main villain that Linda Carter could have been? Not Gigantic, because that would have been a, pun intended, giant waste of her as a character.
Let's take a look at Wonder Woman's.
Can I also say I was shocked that I didn't think she was ever going to make it in these movies because she was the president on Supergirl.
Actually, that's a fair point. Like although, like, just because a legacy actor shows up in one property doesn't necessarily mean they can't show up somewhere else.
Oh no, I didn't mean that she couldn't because she was in there. That to me was like, after a while, like Kevin Conroy's never going to show up in a mainline Batman movie.
Right.
When they shoved her in Supergirl, I was kind of like, are you guys for real not putting her in Wonder Woman? Like, she's showing up in Supergirl? That where I was kind of like, when they put her there first, I was kind of like, I think she should have showed up in Wonder Woman, and that was it. Because honestly, she shows up for 2 minutes a season in Supergirl. I was kind of just like, they just kind of put her in something to put her in something, and I was kind of like, okay. And then finally they got her in here. Because I'm not saying, how old is Linda Carter?
I think she's.
I will look that up.
She's got to be like.
Linda Carter is
69.
Linda Carter is 69. Wow, does she look good for 69? Holy crap.
Right? Okay, so you're asking what other
that wouldn't be a waste.
Other than Circe, let's see. I think we've already seen Dr. Poison in the first film.
Yes.
So that's a no for her.
Give or take. I would have been okay with a gender bend if we have to do it to somebody.
There's Veronica Cale. Dark Angel?
Maybe, I don't know. She's got one of those ones where it's like egg foo. I don't know. Like,
I know it's tough. We're grasping at straws here.
Yeah, it's like you need to start throwing gods in at some point with her because her original rogues gallery starts skirtish.
All right, if we're gonna keep talking about Wonder Woman 3, I have to ask the question: Donna Troy or Cassie Sandsmark?
Oh boy, man,
or both.
If I could get both, I would take both. Part of me thinks I'd like Donna better.
But
then they don't get Cassie. But it's just like I have seen more with Donna to where I think I like her more, but it's just like the worst part of it is even if we get these characters, are they just going to be an amalgamation of both of them if they pick one?
Yeah, fair point.
Because like they're just going to be like, here's random Junior Wonder Woman. We're going to put some stuff in there. Yeah. Honestly, if I had to, who would you pick between the two?
Part like the main reason I want Donna is because they really fucked her over in Titan season 2.
Oh, I haven't watched it, so I wouldn't know.
Like she was a great character when she was introduced, but then they killed her off. And
who killed her? Deathstroke?
Yep.
Okay. Guess it's gonna be anyone.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day. But I think general audiences who aren't as familiar with Teen Titans would probably love if Patty Jenkins got to cast Donna Troy.
Who would you cast as Donna?
Ooh.
How old would you want her to be?
I would say some like anywhere between like anywhere between like 18 and
I should say, how old do we want her to look? Because they could easily be like, she's 400 years old. Because like we said, Amazonians don't age. Yeah, you'd want her to
I'll say anywhere in the 18 to 34 demographic.
I'm okay with that. Okay.
Because you're right, Amazonians don't age. So it like you can get I don't know, you can get like someone like Haley Steinfeld to play the character. I know it's a bad example because she's
oh man, I would not be against it though. God. I typed in brunette actresses and the first one that came up was Mila Kunis.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind her being in something, but I don't think she'd be a good Donna. Man. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Kirsten Stewart as Cassie. I wouldn't mind that.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Who? Alexandra Daddario?
Ooh.
I don't know if she'd be good at it, but
you know what? Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Her
wouldn't be a bad bet if you just threw some brown hair on her because she never got to be Mary Jane Watson. Shailene Woodley.
Actually, you know what? I think that might be my pick.
She never got to be Mary Jane, so she's wide open. Oh, Elizabeth Gillis! Oh, I really like that too. For people that don't know, she was I can't think of her name. Jade West in Victorious.
Oh my God, yes, that's
yeah.
Okay, we've done it. We've casted her.
Yeah, get Elizabeth Gillis. Yes. I never would have thought of her if I wasn't looking at a brunette actors list. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Do it now. Pay us, Warner Brothers. Do it now. She'd be awesome. And she still looks young. She's got, how old is she? She's 27. Perfect. That's never going to happen, and that irritates me. Oh, man. She needs to be in more stuff. I had such a huge crush on her back in the day.
I don't blame you.
But, yeah. Okay, we got Donna Troy down. Who would you want to be Cassie if they did it? Because
Cassie, I think, would be Zoe Deutsch.
I could be okay with that. Could be okay with that. So there we go. If we get him down Zoe Deutsch and Elizabeth Gillis, I would. My God, if either of us are right, if either of us are right about any of these, when the pandemic's over, we're flying and buying the other lunch. That's what's going to happen. It's not, but my God, I will scream so loud you can hear me if Elizabeth Gillis gets cast as Donna Troy. Oh man. Okay. So are we thinking that it almost is guaranteed has to be Circe in the third movie?
It's feeling likely.
Because like Circe would be something that could bring out Zeus.
Ooh. Yes, that, but Circe could also help Barbara get her powers back.
Yeah, she could. Yeah, she could.
All right. I think we got Wonder Woman 3 figured out.
Yeah. If we hear Kirsten Wiig is coming back, I might think Circe is going to be involved. And honestly, Circe could be the Loki of like the DC movies if they treat it right. And Circe, oh my God, I don't even know who would play her. And if you're going to have someone help deal with Circe, if you're going to have Linda Carter help, that'd be pretty good, not going to lie. You know, I would not mind. Oh, part of me is looking at Olivia Wilde.
For Circe?
Maybe, I don't know.
I see it. I see it.
She's got the face that she looks evil. Like when she wants to be, you get the long hair and like the overly overdone outfit that most of the time Circe would have. She wouldn't look like that, obviously, but like Kate Beckinsale wouldn't be bad either.
Okay, I like that too.
Keira Knightley.
She might be a little bit too bubbly, but Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge wouldn't be bad. You know, I was about to say someone.
Hold on, I need to look up a Doctor Who character.
I was about to say someone, but they're about to be in the Eternals, so we can't do it.
Gemma Chan?
No, I was going to say Salma Hayek.
Oh. What about Penelope Cruz?
She wouldn't be half bad. I'd be okay with that. Eva Mendes wouldn't be half bad either.
Ooh.
Man, there's a couple of good shouts for that. We need a person that looks. We can't have a person that looks too. The more I'm thinking about this, they need to look more mature. Because if anyone, if we're gonna have an Amazonian look older, it's probably gonna be Circe.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, well, I mean, like someone of like that has extended age has to be that. Man, I can't think. I just can't think. We were really dead set on the other ones.
If we're trying to cast an older character, there's Michelle Gomez.
Michelle Gomez wouldn't be half bad. Oh boy, who did they all pick here? Oh boy, someone. Oh boy, I got the image of her in that outfit in my head, and that wouldn't be half bad. Someone said Margot Robbie, but she's already Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a really good one. Someone said Christina Hendricks.
Ooh, I think I like that.
Say, got a picture of her right next to her, and my God, Christina Hendricks would be really good. Oh man. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I'm down on Christina Hendricks. The one last fan casting I'll bring up. Someone has a Trinity thing here that must have been made before Wonder Woman 2. It was Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Natalie Dormer as Cheetah, which I like a lot.
Okay, wait. I found who I actually want for the role. Catherine Tate.
Catherine Tate. Let me look her up. The other thing that they said was, well, in that one I was looking at was Natalie Dormer as Cheetah, which Natalie Dormer needs to be in more things. And also they had Eva Green as Circe.
Ooh.
What's you something Tate? What'd you say?
Catherine Tate.
That's how they spell Catherine. Or, yeah, that could work. Yeah.
So we just cast Wonder Woman 3. You're welcome, Warner Brothers.
You're welcome, Warner Brothers. We take our checks payable. We'll take cash as well. Either way. But before we start getting too long, because this just approached an hour and a half. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is Wonder Woman 1984 is an overall really enjoyable movie. Probably, it's honestly one of my favorite like classic superhero films.
Okay.
Like if you're a fan of the Richard Donner superhero like Superman movies, and even like if you're a fan of like Indiana Jones and other like Amblin sort of fantasy films, I think Wonder Woman 84 scratches that particular itch. It's despite my Letterboxd review, it's not quite perfect, but it's a movie that I love, and I will rewatch like whenever I get the opportunity.
Oh yeah, it'll be one of those movies that it won't be one of those where I'm a person that where if I want to watch stuff, I will like a trilogy, I'll watch it all in the night. And this won't be one of those things where it's like, I will just gonna skip Wonder Woman 84 because I don't want to watch that one. It'll be that one is going to be good and all that. We're good. It's a good movie. It's worth watching. I still want an explanation from someone what the hell they were thinking with that whole plot device shenanigans. But that'll be something that comes out later. And I am a big fan of why stuff. I'm not a big fan, like we said, of the decision being made to make a plot point in a movie that wasn't in the movie. I'm a big fan of randomly years later finding out why a plot point was in a movie because someone finally got sick and tired to be like, I'm going to tell you what really happened. That I like. But yeah. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Captain K482. All my quick thought reviews are on letterboxd.com/CoachK482. Find me in all the various Facebook groups, just at my name. You can find Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. We've got podcasts all available on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen. And last but not least, check out renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. And I'm quite happy to be back doing these and actually having movies that we'll be able to watch in theaters because I found out a lot of movies that were happening that just didn't know existed. Like, I can't think of the name now, but the Denzel Washington, Jared Leto,
The Little Things.
Yeah. And like the Story of the World with Tom Hanks and the next installment in the Liam Neeson likes to be in action movies phenomenon. I'm going to be really honest. The next review that I'm really looking forward to doing the most is that freaking Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, hell yes.
Dude, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. That's either going to be a dumpster fire or amazing or nothing in between because there's actual fatalities and they're gory and you can't go middle ground. Don't pansy it. But you can find me obviously on this YouTube channel, on Twitch, which I'll be doing a little bit more now that I'm kind of getting done with Cyberpunk. I've played it through, but that thing, from what I'm being told, is a DMCA nightmare on Twitch, so that's why I'm not playing it. And yeah, we'll be doing a lot more of these. Me and Mike are still continuing to do fresh takes of Gurren Lagann, and you guys will be seeing that for a while. And then you'll be seeing 2 movies of Mike's choice that'll be coming up, and we're going to be soon starting recording our next thing, which we said it at the end of Gurren Lagann, but we might as well say now that we are going to be doing Ava, so we'll start recording that, and that will upload after Gurren's done. And then I will have to decide what to do with when we record after that, because we will be ridiculously far ahead with stuff to where we'll have to start posting 2 at a time.
Mhm.
So yeah, look forward to that, and look forward to, if you're keeping up on the Gurren stuff, I got a really cool thing done yesterday for the mid-season finale, and then I have a thing planned for the end season finale, which I'm pretty sure I'll be able to have done. I'm quite excited about. So this will be going up on Sunday, and then Fresh Takes will be going up on Monday because Ruby's not up. So that's the one reason why I normally don't have it up on Sundays. So yeah, we will see you guys all next time. We love you, and it was good seeing you again. Bye.